All right, let's talk about one of the biggest shifts happening in tech right now. We're seeing artificial intelligence more from something that just follows our commands, like a simple tool, into a real autonomous collaborator that can actually make its own decisions. It's a huge deal, so let's dive right in. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll start with something we can all relate to, how AI can help organize your day-to-day life. Then, we'll zoom out to the workplace and look at the rise of these so-called digital coworkers. After that, we'll get into a really cool, concrete example with automated code review. And finally, we're going to pop the hood and see the new tech that's making all of this happen. Okay, first up, let's bring this whole idea down to earth. We'll start with our own lives. Think about AI as your personal assistant, the kind that's built to just tackle all that annoying busy work that seems to swallow up our days. I mean, who hasn't felt like this, right? You're just drowning in a sea of emails, meetings, and a to-do list that never seems to shrink. It feels like a losing battle sometimes. But, this is the perfect place for AI to step in and make a real, immediate difference.
But here's the thing, you don't want to get overwhelmed by the AI itself, right? So the smart way to get started is to just ease into it. Step 1, figure out the 3 biggest things that suck up your time every day. Step 2, just pick one tool to help with one of those things. Maybe it's an AI calendar, something simple. And the most important part, step 3, always treat what the AI gives you as a first draft. You're still the boss. The AI is just doing the heavy lifting to get you started.
And the cool thing is, these tools are already here and ready to go. You've got stuff like Motion, which can build your schedule for you and even automatically move things around if a meeting goes late. Then there's Zapier, which is amazing. It lets you connect all your different apps just by telling it what you want in plain English. And of course, tools like Otter.ai can listen in on your meetings, transcribe everything, and even pull out the action items so you don't have to. It's really all about automating that daily administrative grind. Okay, but all this personal convenience stuff, that's really just the beginning. The real revolution, the big shift, is happening at work. This is where AI is graduating from just following simple commands to actually making its own autonomous decisions. And this is where we get to the core idea of this whole explainer, Agentic AI. Now, this is not your grandpa's automation. An agentic system is different. You can give it a really high-level goal, something like launch this new feature, and it will then figure out all the steps, carry them out, and get this, it can even fix its own mistakes as it goes. Yeah, this table really lays out the difference perfectly. Think of simple automation like a basic script. If this happens, then do that. It's purely reactive. But agentic AI, it's on another level. It actually interprets the goal. It owns the decisions. And here's the kicker. When a simple automation hits a wall, it just stops, dead in its tracks. But when an agentic AI fails, it tries to figure out why and then finds a different way to get the job done. So, what does one of these digital coworkers actually do all day? Well, it can plan out entire projects from scratch and even delegate the smaller tasks to other, more specialized AIs. It can manage super complex cloud infrastructure all by itself, and it can even heal itself. For example, if a developer moves a button on a web page, the AI can automatically update the software test to reflect that change. I mean, think about that for a second. This isn't an AI that just does tasks. It's an AI that manages entire projects and literally maintains itself. All right, now let's get to what I think is one of the most fascinating applications of this yet, using agentic AI as a teammate for software engineers. This is where the AI's ability to actually reason and understand context really shines. Okay, check this out. This is a perfect example of why this is such a game changer. The AI here isn't just finding a simple typo. No, it's catching a major flaw in the business logic. A human engineer, even a great one, could easily miss something like this buried in thousands of lines of code. But the AI understood the rule, you have to verify the payment before you ship the product, and it flagged the exact piece of code that was breaking that rule. And this is the crucial part, the real-world impact. We're not talking about fixing a spelling mistake here. We're talking about preventing fraud, preventing actual financial loss for a company. The AI is basically acting as a super intelligent safety net, making sure the software actually does what the business needs it to do. And believe me, it gets even more sophisticated. These AI systems can sniff out all sorts of other subtle but really dangerous bugs. Things like a negative checkout, where someone could try to scam the system by ordering a negative number of items to get money back. Or privilege escalation, which is a fancy way of saying it stops a normal user from finding a sneaky backdoor to get admin powers. It can even catch race conditions. These are notoriously tricky timing bugs that could let someone, say, use the same coupon twice at the exact same millisecond.
So does this mean human engineers are out of a job? Absolutely not. In fact, it does the opposite. It elevates their role. With the AI handling all the tedious, line-by-line grunt work, the human expert is freed up to focus on the big picture stuff. Is the overall architecture of the software any good? Does this new feature actually fit with our long-term strategy? The high-level thinking.
Okay, so you might be wondering, how is all this even possible? I mean, to understand business logic and catch these super complex bugs, these AI engines need a ridiculous amount of horsepower. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the actual technology that's been built to power these incredibly demanding AI systems. Let's just start with a number that is, well, it's pretty hard to ignore. For some specific tasks, a new programming language called Mojo can be up to 60,000 times faster than Python. And remember, Python has been the king of AI for years. That is a completely mind-boggling leap in performance.
So what exactly is Mojo? Well, the easiest way to think about it is as the best of both worlds. It was built from the ground up to have the easy, readable syntax of Python, which is why developers love Python, but to run with the blistering, raw speed of a language like C++.
Now, you don't need to be a coder to get the gist of this. The really important thing to know is that Mojo is a superset of Python. All that means is that any Python code you already have will just work. But, and this is the magic part, Mojo adds a few new tricks, a few new keywords that basically give developers a superpower. They can point to a specific chunk of code and tell the computer, hey, optimize this part for maximum speed, giving them the best of both worlds. And that is the absolute genius of the whole approach. You don't have to throw out decades of Python code and expertise. You keep everything you have, all your existing tools, and you just surgically go in and rewrite that tiny 1% of your code that's the real performance bottleneck. You rewrite that in super fast Mojo. So, as we've seen, when you put all these pieces together, it really adds up to a fundamental shift. From something as simple as organizing your calendar to something as complex as reviewing mission-critical code, AI is clearly moving beyond being just a tool we command. It is truly becoming an active, thinking, reasoning collaborator. And this, of course, leaves us with a huge question to chew on. If AI is going to handle the tactics, the nitty-gritty implementation, the bug checking, the optimization, what does that mean for the rest of us? What's the new role for human experts? Maybe it means our job is to focus more than ever on strategy, on creativity, and on figuring out what the right questions are to ask in the first place. And that's our deep dive into the rise of agentic AI. Hey, if you found this valuable and you want to keep up with these massive shifts happening in technology, please do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button for more. Thanks for tuning in.